Hey, right guys, Tristan Joey, and today we are doing the second of the two that I've done of the films I kind of watched in the previous month. It is currently the 1st of March 2018, and I'm going to be talking about the films that I watched in February. Not as many as January. I was trying to aim for more than January, but I've kind of focused a lot more on YouTube videos this month than I did in January. So kind of, that didn't help. I've only watched versus 12 films, whereas I think I watched 14 last month. Like I say, still not like an amazing amount. I know people watch hundreds within a day sometimes. And I think like half of these are No, to be fair, only three of these were rewatches. Four of them were rewatches. So kind of a lot of new films, whereas last month there were quite a few rewatches because I was watching stuff with like my mom as well, which I've tried to get her to watch as well as my sister. But yeah, the first two are rewatches, and I watched them both on the same day. And my friend Kelsey came round, and we needed comedies, so we had to go for the prime examples of the two. I won't say they're the best comedies, but they are definitely up there as like I'd say top five comedies, both of them. Jonah Hill, Channing Tatum absolutely destroyed those two films. Are so iconic. Like I'm trying to think now if there is a comedy that tops it. To be fair, and like I say, I really like This Is the End. Super Bad, I'd say, is my favorite actually. I think they're both great. I do think the first one is a little bit better than two, even though the second one has that whole Cynthia. She, oh my god, that bit actually kills me. Like I put it on my Instagram story and we were just dying laughing at that bit. It still gets me every time. I think I've watched these films about especially I think I've watched the first one like 8 or 9 times, and then the second one maybe about 5 times. They both get 8 out of 10. I'd say like the first one would be like a kind of 8.8 out of 10, where the second one's more like maybe just an 8 out of 10 for me. But love them both so much, so good. This was the following day, so like I think I wouldn't say they're both horrors. They're kind of both a bit shit. These were, but they were like the good kind of shit. The first one being the Belko Experiment, which I've been wanting to watch for a while. I know when this came out, people were like, it's a fun film to watch, but it definitely has flaws, which it does. This is a very flawed film about this building or this company that they live in, like, well, they're all working in this building, and then all of a sudden it gets all locked down, and they're told that they have to follow these orders if they want to survive, and those orders are basically to kill each other. So all these normal day people suddenly end up trying to kill each other, and it's a stupid film, but I enjoyed it. I think it had some good moments, some intense scenes for sure. I think it could have been a lot better. I think the concept of it is better than how it was actually executed, unfortunately. But straight after this, we ended up watching Saw 2, which in my head, I thought Saw 2 was one of the best Saws that there were, but rewatching it, I was like, it's okay, but it's not. Like when I watched Saw 2 for the first time, I was like a lot younger, and I was like, oh, this film's iconic. As well as like I think like three or four had just come out, and I was like, they're iconic films. But I rewatch them now, and I'm like, they're shit. They're shit films. Apart from the first one, I'd say the first one is really good. The second one's kind of bad, but it has some fun traps in there for sure. Saw's like the pinnacle of torture porn, as well as Hostel. I'd say Hostel's a bit more brutal, but I enjoyed Saw 2. It's kind of like it fell into the same category of Belko Experiment, where it's shit but enjoyable shit. So yeah, Saw 2, not one of the best ones, but not one of the worst ones either for sure. I gave the Belko Experiment a 6.2 out of 10, and I gave Saw 2 a 5.4 out of 10. They're bad, but I wouldn't say I'd necessarily say have to see. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen Saw, but as far as the Belko Experiment, because it's on Netflix, I'd say it's not hard to get hold of it. So if you have, nothing to do, definitely check it out, I guess. Might as well. Next on the list, and something I hadn't heard a lot about, and the things I had heard weren't great about this film, but Jungle with Daniel Radcliffe in. A true story about these group of guys who go on holiday. Well, they're not going on holiday, sorry, that's completely wrong. They're travelling the world, so it's a bit different. And they end up amongst this guy who's like, I want to take you into this jungle. Oh, yeah, Amazon rainforest, okay, so yeah, there you go. The Amazon rainforest, which is like obviously massive. And they have this guide who helps them through, and then eventually they kind of part ways, and it's Daniel Radcliffe trying to survive in this jungle because he's lost, obviously. I really, really enjoyed this film. It wasn't amazing, and it was definitely kind of flawed as well. I think it was a bit too long. I don't think it needed to be as long as it was. But Daniel Radcliffe, like, for me, like, yeah, he'll always be like Harry Potter. And I know everyone will say that. It's like, he's a Harry Potter. But I've seen him in enough films at this point, like Woman in Black, Horns, which was okay. But Swiss Army Man and Jungle, I think he's a really good actor. He's not like an amazing, incredible actor, but I think he could be like he could really get some amazing roles eventually. Like just seeing him in this film as well as Swiss Army Man, I was like, dude, Harry Potter can act. So yeah, he was great in this film. And like I said, I think this has like a 51% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is kind of a bit harsh, but I think it was a lot better than that. I ended up giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'd say check this one out for sure as well. Just seeing Daniel Radcliffe run around shouting words is pretty hilarious. And next on the list, I watched this one with Liam, but Paprika, which I bought in the Blu-ray of this for Christmas, and we've been wanting to watch it since then. I've heard a lot about this film. Like, this is an anime film as well. And if you could sit there and tell me what this film was about, I'd be all ears because I had no fucking clue. I had no idea what was going on in this film, and I've heard, even before I went into this film, I'd heard it was very weird and strange, and you kind of have to watch it multiple times to get a grasp of it. But I'd heard the same thing about Perfect Blue, which I have somewhere down there, which is another animated film. That was very weird and strange, but I kind of got an idea of what it was, and I enjoyed Perfect Blue. Whereas this, I just couldn't get in. I couldn't get into it for some reason. I might rewatch it again at some point. I'm pretty sure I will rewatch it because films like this, I always feel bad rating them if I don't really get what they were about. And if you are meant to kind of, this is a film that kind of inspired. Apparently, Liam let me know scenes from Inception as well, which you can see when you watch this film. You're like, yep, that's kind of in Inception as well. So yeah, I don't know whether to rate this film as like now or if I was to rewatch it. But as of right now, I'd had to go with what did I give it? A 5.5 out of 10. Like, dude, okay, it's like weird and shit. And I'm all for weird films. Like, I watched a lot of that shit, but I just couldn't get into it for some reason. I think Liam was pretty much the same. He was just like, what the fuck's going on? Animation and all that stuff was fantastic, but as a story, I just did not know what was going on. Next was this piece of trash. But the good trash, The Fate of the Furious, even though it's just called Fast and Furious 8 in the UK, got the steelbook there. That scene is ridiculous. Fast and Furious, I'm kind of, love and hate because part of me is like, this is so over the top and ridiculous and like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I just end up laughing. I burst out laughing at multiple scenes in this film. But saying that, the film knows what it is. Me and Liam were talking about this earlier today. We were watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, doing reactions to that on the second channel, and we were saying as long as a film knows what it is and embraces it and just goes with it, then you can't really slate a film for being over the top and unrealistic. Because the Fast and Furious, ever since Fast 5, I want to say, it knows it's over the top. It knows it's dramatic. Like there's a bit where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I think, literally guides a missile. Like, he grabs a missile and guides it into the enemy. Like, he's pretty much riding a nuke. He might as well be right. Like, it's ridiculous. Oh, my God. So, yeah, seeing scenes like that, and you're just like, I can't slate you for it because fair play. Jason Statham was fantastic in the film. I absolutely loved him. So, yeah, I wouldn't say this is a great film, but I had a lot of fun with it. And for that reason alone, I ended up giving it a 7 out of 10. Just a 7 out of 10 because, yeah, it knows what it is and I just had fun with it. This one I watched last month, but The Greatest Showman said all I needed to say in last month's video for these films, but I went to watch it with my mother and sister. They ended up crying within like the first 5 minutes. They both adored this film, which I'm so happy about. I was kind of nervous taking them into it. I was like, well, if they didn't like it, I'm always like this whenever I go to cinema with someone to a film that I've already seen. But they both loved it. My mum preferred it to La La Land, which I don't understand. I know a lot of people prefer this to La La Land, don't worry. And next one, featuring my boy Dylan O'Brien, but American Assassin. Right, this film, I think literally, like, not even joking when I say this, I think the first 20 to 30 minutes were pretty much flawless. Like, I was like, this is a 9 out of 10. This film is sick. The first 20 to 30 minutes were amazing. And then after that, it just went downhill, unfortunately. Dylan O'Brien was always great. He was always great in this film. But yeah, he was the best thing about this film. Dylan O'Brien was amazing. But every time, it just fell into this, your typical American, they're trying to blow up the world, nukes, bombs, and all that shit. Whereas the first 20 to 30 minutes was just about Dylan O'Brien and what he kind of suffers with from at the start of the film. Yeah, him and Michael Keaton, where they were kind of going one on one, like I thought that was great. And when he's training to become this assassin as well, even though it's a badass anyway. But then when it got to like the government stuff, doing all their talks, Michael Keaton running around shouting, then it's like there's a mole and all this. It's just stuff I'd seen a million times, and then it just kind of got a bit boring. So the first, like I say, the first 30 minutes for me were like a 9 out of 10. But then with the rest of the film, it quickly fell into. I ended up giving the film a 6.7 out of 10. I think this could have been so much better, and it's really unfortunate because, like I said, the first time I was there, like, this is sick, I love it. And then it just, yeah, fell into everything else I've seen a million times. Didn't know Brian was amazing, though. There's no denying that. Good Time featuring Robert Pattinson, the best thing he's done ever. Like, he was great. I think I've seen him in, like, I'd say about 4 things, including, like, Harry Potter, obviously, Good Time, Lost City of Z, he was in that, and then I'd never watched Twilight, so I can't say that, but I'd say this is the best thing he's done, and most people who have seen this film agree with that as well, because he's so good in this film. This is a story about 2 brothers who are kind of, suffering financially. They end up doing something stupid. One of the brothers gets caught, and it's about the other brother, Robert Pattinson, trying to, get him away from the police, break him out of prison, if you like. It's not quite like breaking him out of prison, it's not. So yeah, this isn't like a prison break kind of film, but it's more about this relationship between the 2 brothers. Robert Pattinson doing all that he can to try and help him. Really, I'd say a very emotional film in like a kind of, not an over the top kind of way, which I really like. So it's very short as well. I think it's on Netflix. Well, it is on Netflix in the UK for sure, so you can check it out whenever you want if it's on Netflix in the US or wherever you're at. I ended up giving that one a 7.9 out of 10, just below an 8. Final 2, these 2 are shit. One of them was awful. The other one I have a soft spot for because I've seen it. This is the other rewatch, but I've seen it quite a few times. The first one was The Babysitter on Netflix. Fucking dreadful. Like, I know it knew, again, it's kind of like Fast and Furious, it knew what it was, whereas it's comedy horror, just, garbage. But it was so bad, like, the acting was awful, the gore and all that was just stupid. This kid annoyed the shit out of me. It's about this babysitter, surprise. He has a babysitter and then she just runs around killing people. It's like, the weird. Why is... What do you mean you can't show all of my contacts? I don't need to see all my contacts. The fuck? The FBI are listening to me. But no, that film was awful. I gave it a 2 out of 10. I think it was the worst thing I've seen in my life. Nothing more to say about that. It wasn't the worst thing I've seen in my life. That would be Paige from Pretty Little Liars. Then Would You Rather, which is... I know it's garbage. This is on Netflix as well. These are both on Netflix. But Would You Rather, I think I've seen it like 4 times, and for some reason, every time I'm just enjoying it. Like, this is sick. I love torture porn again, still, but it's... I don't know, there's something really just weird about this film. I really like it. I wanted to do another one, like I want to do a second one, but this was released in, 2012, so I don't think they're going to do a second one, or 2013. If you can stand, like, gore and all that, it's not even that gory, but it's kind of hard to watch at times. I'd say check this one out. I love it. I don't know. I give this one a 7 out of 10, even though I know it is technically like a 4 out of 10. Like it's awful. I know it's bad, but I love it. 4 times I've watched it. I've watched that film 4 times. I'd say my favourite that I'd seen from this month, I'm gonna say was minus rewatches, because then I'd say 21 and 22 Jump Street, but minus that, I'm going to say, and then I'd say technically Greatest Showman, but then Jungle. I'd say Jungle. Jungle is really good, and Good Time. So I'd say my recommendations for this one, obviously, we'll say Greatest Showman was for January, but this month I'd say Jungle and Good Time. Check those 2 out. An American Assassin as well. I think it's still a good film, even though it definitely dipped down. But yeah, there we go, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Until then, peace.